What I'm about to tell you is one of the biggest problems that I faced when I was young. When I was 16, I was always an outgoing person. I would love to do things and I would love to engage with people. But when I was 16, COVID happened. Online school, online events, online this, online that. And now I'm not a person who likes to talk to people online that much. So I much prefer in-person interactions because you know what? I just feel I can see you, I can interact with you, I see what you're seeing, you see what I'm seeing, and nobody's bluffing each other. This is why when we were in COVID lockdown, it was for nearly 6 months, I didn't engage with anybody. I kept to myself because I was thinking everybody else is going online, everybody is doing this and that, but I don't want to be a part of it. But that's what really drove up my anxiety. And let me tell you how bad this anxiety got. It got to the point where I was double checking how I was smirking to myself in the mirror because I was thinking, what if I start saying something about myself in the mirror that I don't like? Once that fear took in, I started stammering way more. And thoughts, words, ideas could not come out as fluent as they used to. That's not to say that once you have anxiety, you're always going to be stuck in that zone. You know why? Because it took me all the way from the age of 16 to about 19 or 20 to actually reverse the effects a little bit. But how did I do that? From 16 to 17, you know what my strategy was? Instead of trying to lower it, I made it worse. I made this anxiety go through the roof to a level I'd never seen before. What did I do wrong there? You know what I did? I started micromanaging myself. Okay, I look at this guy. This guy looks very confident. This guy, he looks like he lacks all kind of self-esteem. What is he doing that he isn't doing? Right? As a natural comparison we would do. So you would say, okay, maybe he's smiling a little bit more. He's smiling like this instead of like this. I started doing things like that. I started looking, okay, he's smiling this way. His eyes are tilted like this. He's putting his hands in his pocket. He's having this kind of posture. So you know what? Let's follow exactly what he does. And that made it worse because now people start to catch that. And people start thinking, why are you trying to be somebody you're not? Other people started relaying these thoughts to me. And then now, imagine somebody is already anxious, hearing things like this. And now you're thinking, why are they saying this to me? I did not want to hear that. I thought I was fixing myself. And now you're in a confusion of, it works for him, why isn't it working for me? And because it's not something that there's a definite solution for, something that people like to hide behind, I'm sure you've been in this situation. And maybe that's why you clicked on this video, because you want to know what can you do to solve anxiety once and for all. But here's what I'll tell you. 2 things out of a list of 100 things that I could tell you that I did that really changed how my anxiety was perceived by me at least. Now, for the first thing that I did, let me ask you a question. What is something that comes to your head when you start feeling anxious, when you start feeling jittery, when you want to say something? You start talking to yourself, right? You start putting yourself in all kinds of scenarios and you overthink to the point where a billion thoughts have come, maybe in 5 seconds. They tell you, why are you being anxious? Why do you think so much? You might have thought, what an idiot. If it was that simple, then I would have already done it by now. But let me ask you, have you actually done that? So what I did was I started speaking things out loud. Every thought that you get, you just say it out loud. So if you start saying, oh, why is this person treating me like this? Is there something wrong with me? Should I change something? These are 3 thoughts that I've just shared with you. But when you actively try to speak it out, what happens is it's just those 3 or 4 thoughts that come to your head and the effect is just lesser. But if you practice this, sometimes you're even going to think, how ridiculous does it sound when you just say it out loud? When I saw somebody who wasn't anxious, who was somebody who was very confident, I used to copy everything. I used to try to be essentially the master copier of anybody who does something good. Find somebody who does something that you want to do and copy exactly what they do. But when it comes to your own personality, when it comes to you want to being more confident in different situations, that will definitely not work, guys. Definitely no. So what you do is you prioritize you things. Maybe you want to go to the movies. Maybe you want to watch a movie by yourself. A group has called you instead for maybe thrifting, but you're not a fan of thrifting. You don't want to go for thrifting, but they've called you anyway. Try doing everything you want to do, and in fact, don't be alone. Go and invite people to do the same thing that you do, because you know what that ensures? You are confident, you have your own interests, you have a direction. Essentially, what I want you to do is, if you think you have a lot of anxiety, it's just because you don't take enough control of your own life. When I mean control, this sounds like a motivational talk or something. But what I mean is, every decision, if I'm gonna grip this mic, that has to be my decision. I don't want you telling me that I have to grip this mic, because that's how anxiety actually comes out. I'm not a scientist, but I'm just telling you that if you want control over your life, if you think I'm deciding everything for me, why would you be afraid of anybody else? You would only be afraid or anxious about a situation if you feel that somebody else has a control over you, somebody else has authority, power over you. And when you're more free, you can make decisions. You're not as anxious anymore. Simply put. So if this video helped you out, then like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and also comment down below something you thought about this video, and see you all in the next one.